Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to everybody. It is 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:05. I'm sorry, we're a little bit late, some technical issues. But we are chiming in from the West Coast, 8 o'clock in the morning, Central Time. We are at 10 o'clock in the morning. And the East Coast, we are at 11 o'clock in the morning. We are coming here live to you streaming. Huddle Time with Ronit is our live cast show, which is here every Wednesday, every Friday, 11 o'clock in the morning. And if it's maybe it'll be here for a few weeks, maybe we'll be here for a few months. Who knows? This is great because this is your opportunity to learn and prepare yourself to not only to create a new normal for you, back to work, because we're going back to work, but how to thrive in times like this and how to create the company that you really always wanted, right? So my name is Ronit Enos, and I am the founder of Salon Cadence Academy. I am a Profit First coach, and I am a mindset coach. And I'm here with you guys, all of you, because we decided why not go live and help through this time and coach you guys what you need to do or what you need to have, what kind of tools you need to have in order to get stronger and better of coming back. So welcome to Huddle Time live from the West Coast. I'm really excited today because not only that we have, and let me tell you, this is our first episode of this show, and we tried so many great tools to make sure that Facebook Live is going to work. So about 5 minutes, of course, to this, we had some technical problems. And that is what it is, technical problem. And that is obviously business, right? It just happens. So what are we going to do today at our show? I want to basically hear from you. What are your challenges today? What are the number one most important things? So when I ask our customers at Salon Cadence, where I ask our clients, our colleagues, and our friends around the world, what now that we are into this 5 weeks, we're into this, I mean, some of you might be in this 6 weeks, 4 weeks lockdown. What are your challenges? What is the number one fear, concern? What keeps you up at night? What keeps you from not rolling out of bed? What is it, the number one thing that just worries you about going back? And maybe you're not there yet. Maybe you're not there about thinking, oh, I'm going back, because we really don't know exactly today. But what we do know, that we need to plan the going back. We need to get into the offense line. We need to be here and we need to plan the grand opening of going back. So there's a lot of things to consider. And like in every episode that we are going to be here live, we're going to talk a lot about what you need to do in the new norm. And please just go ahead and just comment right here on Facebook. What is your number one fear? What is your number one challenge? And maybe if you think about it, before COVID-19, what was your number one challenge? Because I assure you that that could be your number one fear. When we ask our members at Salon Cadence, we ask them, why are you guys fearing now? Because in the beginning, we were fearing about, oh my God, what's going to happen to my business? And then after we got out of our shock, we immediately start thinking about, okay, what are we going to do now? How are we going to maintain our engagement with our employees? How are we going to maintain our engagement with our clients? What's going to happen coming back? Are we going to get help from our government? Are we not going to get help from our government? Some of you might already gotten triple P's assistance. Some of you already got approved for the SBA loan, which is wonderful. But what are you going to do with that money? How are you actually going to manage it? So what I'm offering you right now is the opportunity to disclose and put it, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Hi, everybody. So I'm going to look off to the side and look at the comments. So you're going to see my profile and trying to read the comments as they're coming really quick. But I want to know what is it really that is concerning you right now? What is your fear? Because we are going back, and what will be your plan to go back? Do you have a definite plan, right? Because you need to have it. So, hi Andy, good morning. So things like, do you know how to manage the cash flow that you have just been given? And if you haven't yet, how are you going to actually open, and what is the right cash flow plan to actually have? So there's going to be even questions like, well, do you know what is your profitability? How to plan for good profitable business going forward? Do you know how strong is your client's retention, and what do you need to do in order to create a better retention? And the reason why I'm talking about it right now, because you might think, what are you talking about? We're just not back to work yet, but it's coming soon. And I want to be here with the next few weeks preparing you to set the systems so when you go back, you don't go back to the old ways of not being so great. So let's identify that first. So good morning, everybody. Anybody who's coming back, my name is Ronit. I'm the founder of Salon Cadence Academy, a coach of mindset and profitability. And we are preparing this show for you. We're preparing the show. We're going to have great experts in here, a lot of great professional people who have been in the industry and has been very successful, have gone through crisis, as some of us have and some of us have not, and have a lot of great things to share with you. And with my friend from Cosmetologists Chicago Association, we decided to host this show to help you through this, because guess what? The show gotta go on, right? So I'm looking at all your comments, and one of the things that I'm looking at, and there's a lot of comments that are coming out, and questions that we had before is, what is the new norm? What's going to happen in the new norm? So 2 tips today that I want to talk about, because I'm looking at your comments and I asked everybody else before, the number one fear that struck me, it wasn't about so much about how am I going to afford this? Am I going to be able to open the doors? The number one question and fear was, I'm afraid to go back to what it was. How funny is that? I don't want to have the things that I had. If anything, I want to take this opportunity of time and fix those things. Right? So I'm looking, scheduling after being closed for 8 weeks. Well, that's a great question. How do you schedule after being closed for 8 weeks? Well, Amy, the number one thing that you need to do right now is get in touch with all of your clients and tell them we are scheduling all our appointments. It's going to be a limited amount of time, so we need to schedule you in. And my suggestion is it's to take the shortest amount of time for services. Because what you had before maybe was an hour and a half you allow for full foils, or maybe you offered 45 minutes for a haircut. Maybe now you're thinking, I need to only do color services at 30 minutes at a time, 40 minutes at a time, and allow the gap. A little bit larger gap, because we're going to go back in phases. We're not going to rush like herds, open the door, and here we are, the same as it was. No. So the number one thing you need to do is create that plan. Amy, that's a fantastic question. How are we scheduling them? So if you're used to have 10 appointments a day, maybe with 6 stylists, right? So that means 60 people a day. You have to reduce that to maybe having just 5 appointments a day per person. So let's talk about scheduling. So scheduling, if you did an hour foils or 45 minutes foils, Let's deliver this in 30 minutes. What a better time to learn what does it cost for you to be open for 1 hour, right? It's if you can understand and you can learn what does it cost you to be open for 1 hour, you will know what does it cost you to be open for 30 minutes. Because going back to the same way and doing services the same way and they are not profitable makes no sense. Does it make sense to you? Makes no sense to me. The easy way to know if your salon is profitable is to know what is your cost per hour and what is your income per hour. Schedule your appointments in a short way, meaning 30 minutes for a haircut, 45 minutes for a haircut, color service, minimize the time, maybe create a couple of services that they are shorter amount of time. Like maybe you do a hairline retouch for people who just needs a quick hairline retouch. Because again, we're not going to go back to the norm that we had before, definitely not for a few months, and maybe even a whole year. So create a safe environment, call all your clients, and start booking them in your week. Now, but you don't know what date you're going back. I get that. I understand. It doesn't matter. Pick a date. May 15. Pick a date, May 15. That's all you got to do. Take the numbers, take the names, and then call them again if this got pushed by a week or 2 weeks. Maintain engagement with your clients through emails, through Zoom, through phone, through texting, and letting know that you are taking care of them. So that's my recommendation. How's that sound, guys? Yeah? Okay. What is going to be the new norm? Fear of where the economy is going to be at and how it's going to affect us. That's a fantastic question. Well, the good news is this is not permanent. No, it's not. It's going to go back and be very strong historical saying that these business-wise, these are presidential time. Business has always going to go through crisis. And through crisis, great things are going to happen. Great opportunities are going to come to you. So, Sheena, with that great questions, it'll be tough in the beginning. But we have a lot of great ways to plan. What are we going to do with our business daily so it will provide you with great cash flow? What you have learned over this time is that you really don't need all these expenses that you occurred. So what I would offer, Sheena, is the certainty, is knowing really your numbers. So if all of you out there, next week, we're going to talk about profits, and we're going to show you the numbers, and we're going to show you 3 things that you can do to plan your cash flow and to plan for profits, to plan for good money, income, and persistent income. So if all of you want to tune in next week, this is what we're going to have a full hour with me on coaching, on numbers, how to plan. And we're going to do it for the next few weeks and for the next few months. But even before that, I do want to offer you a very good tip. There's nothing more important right now specifically to understand exactly what are your expenses, where it was before COVID-19 and what it's going to be next. So you really want to have an amazing set of QuickBooks, amazing set of accounting management. You need them, all of them. So get clear, get in touch with your accountant, get in touch with your bookkeepers. And by the way, if you need any of that information, if you need new accountant or good bookkeepers or help just to know what you need to do in order to get bookkeepers, go to our website. We have a great page over there that you can put your emails in there, ask me the questions. just get your name in there, your email at ronitenos.com or saloncadence.com. Any kind of a question that you need, we'll give you all that information, and we'll be here next week. But what I want you to do, first of all, is understand what is your cost per hour right now, what it was before COVID-19, because we're going to reduce it. We're going to go back and we're going to change that. So you need to have a great set of books, your numbers very organized, very clean, and you need to know your income, everything from your software. So make sure you have a very good software. Okay, so these are the two things we need to know before we go back, so we can plan a cash flow system, a money management system, so you don't blow through that money that you just got. That's so critical. We don't want to blow through the money. We don't want to go and do bad habits like we had before. If you didn't have bad habits and you know how to manage your money, well then, come join me. Maybe you'll be one of my guests on the show, so we can share all the tips that you know how to do, right? Okay, so I'm going to take all these comments that I saw and I'm going to write them down, and we're going to speak to them. If there's anything other than money and how to go back from norm, please write them, keep writing them. We're going to take notes, and in the next few weeks, we're going to just coach you through it, all of them, okay? Now, I want to introduce you guys to my next guest. My first guest, the first guest of our first live. She is a very special person, and I also thought not only that she is a very special person, and I'll tell you all about her, she also navigated and pivoted and shifted her career so many times because of so many crises. So what better person to even have here on live today? And we're going to talk about a service that you can implement today, even when your doors are not open, and already start planning for extra cash flow. This service might not be for everybody, but we're offering you a tool here to fall in love with something new, to shift, to pivot, to take advantage of a new department in your salon that will allow you to generate major profits and net worth, right? And enjoy doing something and giving something extraordinary to your client. Opportunity to start today. Her name is Karen Gordon, and not only that she's a hair colorist, not only that she is a cosmetologist, she is an owner of one of the finest salons in Chicago. She is the president of the Cosmetologists Association of Chicago. She's also sit on the boards and serves on the board of the Intercoiffure of America and Canada. And she serves on the trichologist, as a trichologist, and on the board of Trichologists International Association. Now, obviously, she's an amazing leader, and she has been in leadership pretty much her whole entire life, and we're going to learn a lot about it. But what I love about Karen, as I get to know her more and more, is how fun she is, how regular person she is, just like you and just like me, and how she going through the hard times that we're going. And what an amazing person to sit down. I will sit down with Karen in the 2 hours cab ride, an Uber ride, and I will sit in the kitchen. We had many conversations looking at each other's refrigerators, okay? Because we spend a lot of times these days in the refrigerators, don't we? Well, I know you're worried. Of course we are, about what's going to happen. But here, we're going to talk about good news. Here, we're going to get into the offense lines. We're going to plan. We're going to give you ideas, and we're going to put the plan together. So with all of this, let me introduce you to Karen Gordon. Karen, I am so excited to have you here. Thank you so much for being my first guest.
Thank you for having me, and you and I could talk forever. I mean, you're my new friend, and the conversations that we've had leading up to this, you and I have a lot in common, and it's been really rewarding, and thank you for bringing me into your network and letting me speak to your team as well, and also to everybody out there who's watching today. I listened to your intro, and I found it really fascinating. I think we're all sitting here trying to create certainty in uncertain times, and that's the hardest part. And that's kind of the takeaway I got from what you said is we want to be certain about what it's going to look like, how we're going to do it, how we're going to do it differently, how we're going to manage our money, how are we going to handle, sanitation and all the rest. But everything's uncertain. A lot of people don't know if the money is coming through. We don't have an opening date. We don't know. We really don't know what's going on. So there's this conflict going on, and I think the conflict is what's hard to manage right now.
Yeah, and that's so true. And you guys out there are not alone. I mean, I spoke to Karen the other night, and and I said to her, I had a really hard time pulling myself out of bed this morning. And I was looking forward actually spending time with you, and that got me really excited. So
I hope everybody knows that when you and I talk, and when we all tune into all of these podcasts, everybody's always putting their best foot forward because we want to be inspirational, and we are. But like you, 2 days ago, I had a hard time getting out of bed. It was a tough day. It's like, I don't want to do it. It's gray. It's snowy. There's all that uncertainty. My business is closed. I'm not exercising enough. I'm tired. My brain is tired. I'm tired of filling out paperwork. But you bounce back. If you're passionate, you bounce back. You pick yourself up. You dust yourself off. But, it's sort of like you only see the good things on Facebook often that people post. Know that anyone who's an owner, anyone who's a coach like you are, anyone in, I see all these great people out there in leadership positions, and they're having their bad days too. It's
totally.
not, everybody's having their bad days.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And and it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter whether you're a student. It doesn't matter whether you own a big corporation like Aveda or it doesn't matter what business you are. We all have a hard time. And
it doesn't matter how well or not well your business is doing. I mean, I talk to friends every day. Some have businesses that are doing phenomenally well. Some had challenges going into it. But even the ones who are doing phenomenally well are challenged also. It's happening to everybody right now. So, we're all in this together. Don't feel like you're alone. Together. You got to smile, you got to laugh a little bit. But if you have those down days, I don't think that you can beat yourself up. They're tough. This isn't easy. No, this is not easy.
This is not easy.
But we will get through it, and there is another side to it.
However, I love looking at all our text messaging with your friends, and now on Instagram, all the videos that are coming out of team engagement. To this morning, I was surfing this morning to look. I was preparing to go on Instagram Live for the first time on the page. Excuse me, and I happened to see our friend Terry Terrence from Nouveau Salons down in Sarasota.
Terry McKee, I love Terry. Good soul.
Love Terry.
Great business.
And his staff created this most amazing, funny video of all of them, putting their makeups on. So like before the morning, you look like crap, and then you look so good. So yeah, this is my morning hair. At least I made my roots.
These are my COVID-19 nails. I can't find my nail polish remover because I never do my nails myself. So, it's kind of funny. We're all broadcasting from home. I want to know this is the top half, the bottom half are the sweatpants.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm in a nice silk top and a scarf. My makeup done. Bottom half is sweatpants and slippers. So it's just the way life is.
I know. I managed for the first 5 weeks to go through my roots and not have it painted. But I tell you, I had to do them. I had my husband painted them so I can.
I did mine the other day
make
on
me
myself.
happy.
I did a partial touch up. I had to on myself. I had to.
Thank God. Anyway,
Thank God.
Karen, I want to ask you a couple of questions that I think are very vital right now. So, I spoke of all your titles, and they're just a smidge of what you do and how you show up into this world, really. Mm-hmm. So like a little slice of the pie. How do you manage as a salon owner, as a stylist behind a chair, to navigate, to lead, and do all the things that you do? What drives you to do it, and what kind of a day? Paint me a day in Karen's life Before COVID-19, because I'm sure it's very different right now, how did
Yeah.
you manage without burning out, without getting to the burnout? What do you
You
do?
know, it's my passion that drives me. It's my love of the industry that drives me. It's my mind that wants to create new things that drives me. It's feeling a responsibility to the industry at the age that I sit at, how long I've been in it, having a husband who I felt was a legacy hairdresser, trying to create my own legacy. Especially when if you speak to Cosmetologists Chicago, it's an honor to be able to represent our industry on a larger level. And it's time that I don't want to waste. And if I can have a small impact during a very tumultuous time, I'm going to give a lot of time to that. So, you carve out time, you make the time. It's something that I love doing. I love my team. I love my business. I have a business, that my husband started, who Jerry Gordon passed away. Today would have been his birthday, by the way. He passed away 4.5 years ago, and I feel very strong about keeping the legacy alive that he started, but also continuing to nurture that team, but to grow it, because I don't want that to die. He might not be here, but I want that to go on into the future. So you find time, you make time to do that. I'm inspired by my friends in the industry, Jeff South, Candy Shaw, Nick Arojo, sort of the people who I like to associate with and to travel to shows and be with them. And you just make time. I'm a late night worker. I know you're an early bird and I'm not an early bird. You either work early or you work late, and I'm a late night worker. And what I can't do during the business day, when I see clients, it gets moved down to about 11 o'clock at night. So it's
Which
just
I'm
the way.
sure passion and like you said, legacy is incredible. Is there a specific routine that helps you navigate through a day? How do you get organized? To have all of this, you have to be organized because face it, we also are social being. We love people. We want to spend time with people. How do you find the time to do it all? Do you have a specific routine that you adhere to that helps?
Well, I like to wake up and know what I have to do. So the night before I plan it out, because if I wake up in the morning, it's easy to get distracted by a phone call that maybe the washer dryer isn't working or one of the computers is down or somebody calls you for a phone call. So I like to have the night before. I like to plan out my next day because I like to wake up organized. If I don't have that, then I'm kind of
Yeah,
lost and scattered for the next day.
yeah,
I think you have to have some sort of personal organizational skills.
yeah,
And one thing I've tried to do is tune things out. I try not to watch too much television. I really try to limit my Facebook time. It's easy to get sucked into
yeah,
that and say, you
absolutely.
know what, I'm going to get up and have my coffee. I'm going to check, Facebook, and I'm going to look at all of my emails, and then I'm going to go to work, and I'm not going to break away and check back into it until a certain time. You just can't, because you lose. It sucks you in. It's a rabbit hole that you go down and you lose too much time. So, and I keep a good calendar of everything. I know when everything is, and I still keep, even though I have my things on the computer, I like a manual
Yeah,
calendar. I keep it on my desk every day so I know what I have to do and when I have to do it. I'll be honest, Ronnie, things fall through the cracks.
of
There are
course they do.
sometimes
Of course they
things
do.
and I feel guilty about those, but there are things that my team asks me to do and I'm like, oh yeah, I
Yeah,
forgot, or
yeah,
you know I should have done that last week. But you have to prioritize too, and you have to take the
yes,
things that are the most important for your business. My father taught me that.
yes,
Really
yeah,
prioritize. Otherwise, if you make a list and you do the unimportant things
yeah,
first, then
yeah.
it's just not. It
Yeah,
doesn't work.
and talking about routine, I would like to offer all of you out there who listen to us. We talked a little bit about it last time. Is create a routine for yourself. Create a routine for yourself. Stick to what you
Hmm.
love. If you
Yeah,
love drinking
and
coffee
I'm
in
going
the
to tell you,
morning, drink
I
coffee
think
in the morning. What's that?
I think this whole stay-at-home COVID-19 has. I talked to a lot of friends. They're like, I feel kind of sickly. I don't feel good. It's because our routines are off. Maybe
Yes.
we go to bed too late, or maybe we're waking up later than usual. And for those of us who stand behind the chair and move around all day, I'm not moving around as much. I go from here to the fridge, and then back to
Yeah.
my desk and then to the fridge.
Ex-
That is not exercise.
yeah.
So all
Thank
my friends,
God.
my friends who tell me I get up and I exercise first thing in the morning, that's what I need to start integrating into my daily
Well,
life
you
a
have your
little bit more.
time. You have your time. You can
Yeah,
create this. I would offer to everybody is just, when you wake up in the morning, do your bed. Just at least do your bed because that sets you into a good start. If you can't, because you chose to get up in the morning and your partner is still in bed or whatnot, and you have to share this, get
yeah,
out of the room and get dressed out of the room and start journalizing what is the things that are on your mind. So that would be my second tip of the day. And my third tip of the routine is do what makes you really, really happy in the very beginning of the day. So maybe it's to drink coffee, the ritual of coffee, maybe a tea, maybe working out. Nobody is perfect. I love Karen's cup. I have my bottle here. Yay!
I have my I got two cups. I got my Karen Gordon cup, and then I have, we'll talk about it later, but I have my follicle cup. That's actually my favorite one.
Okay, we're getting, keep those cups handy.
I love what you said about making the bed, because that's the first thing I do every day. You make the bed, you set your routine, and I read that in a book. It wasn't a book. There was somebody who was like a sergeant or a military person who, and one of your viewers out there, I'm sure will know who it was, but said, why is making a bed in the military so important? And it's about discipline. Yeah. It's about doing the same thing every day and doing it well. And if you start your day that way, then you start your day with discipline and you move forward with discipline. But if you let your bed sit and you get lazy and sloppy, you move lazy and sloppy through the day. I always get up and make my bed. I love a made bed.
Yeah. They say it takes,
that's a good one.
They say it takes 2 weeks to start a new habit. And it takes 21 days to keep a habit. And then it takes 90 days to make it your DNA. That's all it takes. We're in it together. Let's today choose one extraordinary habit to start today to help us get the plan together. So talking about times like this where it's actually harder to plan and it's harder to get focus and harder to get clarity, I think you're a master, or maybe you're mastering the art of going through crisis. And Karen, you spoke of Jerry this morning, that it's his birthday today.
I'm burning a little candle in the background. Got my little Jerry candle going.
Happy birthday, Jerry. We're talking about you. I'm sure you're around listening to us.
I'm sure he is.
And you know, I really didn't know Jerry very well. I just know of Jerry, and he's a legend and a legacy in the world. But I am sure that having the loss of Jerry is very similar to the hard time that we're going in. It's like this 5 stages of grief.
Yeah.
And so how did you know, and talking about it, there's so much stress right now, so much anxiety. And maybe the stress and the anxiety has shifted to what's going to be the new norm. What am I going to do in the new norm? How do you navigate through it?
I have a prediction that people haven't thought much about, but I love your thought. The other day we were talking about the 5 stages of grief, and I think it's really important. And someone said to me, you know, this must be really hard, Karen, what you're going through with COVID-19. I said, losing somebody is hard. If you've ever lost a parent or a husband or a child, a best friend, you know it's really hard. But I think the thing that I think I'm going to find is very parallel with losing my husband and COVID-19 is we spend a lot of time putting up a strong front and a good face to everybody when deep down a lot's going on. So if you're still answering the phones, or if you're still talking to clients and say, how you doing? You know, we're performers. And I'm fine. Everything's good. We're going to come through it. Don't you worry. Can't wait to come back. So you really don't have time sometimes to process what's going on. I have a feeling that there's going to be some post-traumatic stress syndrome that comes out of this. Once we all catch our collective breaths and realize what we've been through, we're going to be like, oh my God, I'm a little in shock about what happened. But I kept up a good front for my team, for the public, for those around me. You know, that we have a community that we can talk to online, which is really great. But I think a lot of us are holding up well, but it's going to come out later.
Yeah. So I guess the stress and the anxiety could be managed, like you said. And I think we talked about how you shifted and always pivot to through it. And it's okay to go through the 5 stages as long as you make the choices to come up. And so we're here for everybody. We want you guys all to know that we're here to support you. Karen is so amazing and so sweet to come up and talk about this. And we're going to be here many times, and we're going to bring a lot of great ideas and what you can do right now to implement in your business to give you a sense of purpose. So,
but you know what, Rhonda, I think the important thing that people have to realize is we might not come through it like the way you went into it, you might come out different. You probably will come out different.
Yes.
But, and even though you might hurt, some people are going to lose their businesses. Some people are going to take a big financial hit. But whatever you go through, you come through it stronger on the other side, and you come through it with a greater lesson. And believe me, this is not your last crisis. There's going to be plenty more crises down the road for you. So, really think about how you manage this and how you handle it, and realize even though it might really suck, there are great lessons in it, and it will turn you into somebody different, better, stronger. And you might not see it now, but trust me, it'll be there down the road. Trust me, because there were hours, dark hours, when I lost Jerry, and I thought, what is it going to look like? After I don't know, but I found my inner strength, and I kind of repurposed myself, and everyone else is going to go through that same thing too.
Yeah, and it's true, guys. Just so you know, we're all in this together, right? And so, what are the couple of things that I want to offer you as a coach? And this is a perfect teaching opportunity. The one thing I wanted you to know that we went through 4 crises. I don't know if you guys know it. I'm an Israeli, and I've been an Israeli soldier in the special forces, and discipline is my best friend. And if I could help in any way, I can't say it enough, is that allow yourself to be disciplined in a short amount of time. So what does that mean? Tell yourself that you're only going to work on what needs to be working for 4 hours, for 5 hours, and commit to that. Just commit, just be in the game. And together, we're going to do one step at a time as we work together with all our clients. The number one thing that we want to focus right in the beginning is your plan, your cash flow plan. It might be boring. It's about numbers. I get it. We're all hairdressers. We're not into numbers. But guess what? If we don't know the numbers and we don't know what to do with them, we're going to go and it's going to be the same. And we don't want it to be the same. We want to take opportunities of this to be helpful for us to do something different. So Karen, her last shift and her last pivot was into the hair loss and hair restoration. And the reason why I think this is so important for all of you, as I've been talking to our clients, because you can create today a service that is going to bring you so much profit into 1 hour, clean net worth. And when I speak about profit, I'm talking about, yes, money profit, but I'm also talking about emotional profit, right? Because not only that you're creating a new department, and you could create a new department in your business. Maybe you're a stylist. Maybe you're working for a salon. Maybe you're a booth renter. Maybe you're a barber. Whatever you are, you can create an additional purpose in your life by helping other people that are losing hair. And more so these days when the anxiety is so high, where the stress is so high, there's a lot more loss of hair due to that. So right now we can create a business. Let's talk about that, Karen. Tell me about the beauty of hair loss, hair restoration, because whenever somebody ever hears about it, they go like, oh my God, no. There's something does not resonate to me with hair loss. What is it? Why do some people feel like that? I think it's amazing that we can do this.
It's interesting. When I got into hair loss a couple of years ago, about 6 years ago, and Jerry was really on board with it. And, Nick Arojo is one of my dearest friends. And
yes,
I said,
we love Nick.
I'm thinking I want to be a trichologist. I think I want to go into hair loss. And he looked at me and he said, you know what, Karen, that's not a very sexy field. Like, well, Nick, everything doesn't have to be about being sexy in the field. But I knew what he meant. It was sort of like old hair loss clinics with, wigs on styrofoam. That's sort of how I looked at it. Wigs on styrofoam stands. And I know exactly what he meant. It wasn't a very sexy business to go into. So I said, you know what? I'm going to make it a sexy business. This is actually my hair loss consultation room that I'm in. And I think it's an absolutely gorgeous room.
Yeah.
And it's not an old-fashioned, old-time hair loss kind of a space. So I'm trying to bring it forward. But they say 1 in 4 women suffer from hair loss in their lifetime. 20% of men in their 20s, 30% in their 30s, 40%. By the time you get up to gentlemen in their 50s, you're probably at about 60, 65% are suffering from some form of hair loss. So there's a market out there.
1 out of 4.
1 out of 4 women. 80, the statistic right now is 80 million Americans, but they've actually upped that number. They say 90 million Americans right now are suffering from hair loss. So I remember when I said I was going to start learning about it, people said to me, well, don't you think you're going to have a hard time getting clients?
Yes.
I said, clients, there's 80 million Americans. 1 out of 4 of my clients suffers from hair loss. Do you remember years ago, you'd sit on, if you're an old time hairdresser, you know this, you'd sit on a plane and somebody would say, so what do you do for a living? And you say, I'm a hairdresser. Like, oh my God, I had the worst perm in the world. I had a perm and it fried my hair off, or my cousin, and all they wanted to talk about were their bad perms. You sit on a plane today and someone says, what do you do for a living? And you say, I'm a hairstylist, but I specialize in hair loss. I'm a certified trichologist, which most people have never heard of. Like, oh my God, you know what? I've been losing more hair. My hair's been shedding. And immediately you have a conversation. It is.
I think it's a sexy conversation right there. It's a sexy conversation.
It is.
And here, I think it's Deborah. She says, women at any age want to be thought as sexy, and that is so true. Women and men. There's so many men clients that we can help right here, and it's such a wonderful. Now, what does it take, Karen, to actually build and start? What's the investment that we can build and start that department? And I know you're going to have a hair loss for beginner course coming up, which I'm so excited. I can't wait for it. We've been waiting for it, but what does it take in a general? What is the amount of investment that the minimum?
A financial investment?
Yes.
It doesn't take a lot. It really takes more mental education investment. You can get away with a small space. You can get away with, I'm in a small office here. You could use like a facial room, a massage room. I have a friend of mine, very successful in the business in Indiana. She doesn't own the salon, so they've just created a curtain to go around. You definitely need a private space, but there are many different levels. You can just bring someone up to your makeup counter or to a station and do an examination of their scalp and recommend a treatment in the shampoo room. You can go to the next level and start to see people. I call it Trico Light, and just discuss with them about hair loss in general. Yes. Then you can go to the next level and really start working with people who have diseases of the hair and scalp, or you could go into working with prosthetics. There's the art side and then there's the science side. So I always tell people, decide which side you want to be on. But if you want to go into the there's really trichology and then there's hair replacement, and they're two completely different fields. And I think people have to understand.
So it's like analyzing and prescribing.
Exactly. And although we're not allowed to say prescribing, we can only recommend. We're not doctors, so we're not allowed to prescribe. But yes, just fine. They teach that too in all the classes. Like, don't say prescribing. So but analyzing and recommending a protocol or a course of treatment. And then there are people who just love the other side. They love doing integrated systems and wigs and extensions and toppers and all of those other things. So I think the most successful are the ones who like both. If you want to do both. But you asked me about an investment. I think the initial investment is low to get in. You can get in for under $5,000 if you want.
Which is amazing, because right now, for any one of you who got loans and you were thinking about investing in some return, the return is so quick. So something like $5,000.
You need some education. You need some education. You need some diagnostic tools. Your space is probably already there, and you probably need a product line. And so it can be for a lot less than that to get started. To become a full-blown trichologist is going to take you more, of course, but you can get started probably for even about $3,000.
Wow. Yeah. So the return in the investment, if you guys think about it, of what I offered you guys before, is if you take $3,000 and you divide it by 100 hours, right? What would be the cost per hour versus how much do you actually produce as an income? So if your service could be something like, for an hour would be something like $300, and the cost you got to do the math on everything,
Mhm.
and you can do the total income divided by the total cost of that. You can have a return on your investment really, really quick. And we're going to talk about it next week about how to calculate it, all these numbers. But think about it. You have an opportunity to reinvest and speak about specialties that you can become a specialist as an expert in the industry. And seriously, that's niching. And niching is bringing you a lot of more clients. A hair loss client, right, Karen, is a forever client.
They're the most loyal clients of anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, it's a very emotional issue for a lot of people. There's a lot of fear in it. That's why we recommend a private space. A lot of people come to you. There's a lot of tears. Particularly women are scared. They're very afraid when they're losing their hair. And if you can help someone either bring back their hair, get it a little bit thicker, stronger, or if you can put them into some kind of a hair piece or a system, where else are they going to go? And they love you. What you've given them is confidence, because that's what they're lacking. You've taken away the fear.
Absolutely.
And you've given them confidence.
Yeah.
So
and yeah, they turn to be feeling really sexy and happy. So Karen, this is such great information, and obviously in 1 hour or less than an hour we cannot cover everything. But Karen is
you
going.
And I could talk forever. I know.
Yeah, and we can talk. Yeah, with the refrigerator open.
With the refrigerator.
Yeah. But you will have all the details right here. We're going to let you guys all know right on this page and on our Instagram page when Karen is going to launch the webinar, and it's everything you need to know and what you need to do to walk you through it to start, which is phenomenal. So that's
there's a lot of classes out there, but one thing I have to say, I do like an 1.5 to 2 hour intro class, just learning about what the potential is in the hair loss industry, what's the state of the industry, how to get started in it, all the rest of that. Then I do a full 6-hour course on teaching you how to do the analysis. We go through case studies, the proper questions to ask, how to do scoping using a trichoscope, all of that. And I do it from a hairdresser's perspective, not from a doctor's perspective, not from someone who's outside of our industry, but someone who's worked behind the chair and works in the salon, how you can bring that in. I've trained with some really phenomenal people, but not everybody's in the salon world. And I think you really need to hear from somebody in the salon environment,
which is so important out of our salon perspective. So we're going to have all that information right here at the end of the day, so you guys can come and learn, because this is an opportunity that we have thought and now we can implement. So that's what we're going to do. Karen, before we finish, we have a few more minutes. There's 2 things that I want to ask. First of all, I want to talk about 2021, the most amazing hair show that is planning.
I know.
Please give us just a tiny little bit. I know there's a lot of secrets going on around it, but for what I've heard, it's going to be the show of a lifetime.
America's Beauty Show sadly had to be canceled. In fact, it was supposed to be this weekend. It was supposed
to start
tomorrow.
I was supposed to be in it with you.
And so sometimes you're given a gift that nobody wanted to shut it down. I mean, of course we wanted to do the show, and now McCormick Place is being used as a hospital at this point. But if you want to try to find the silver lining in it, we were looking at moving and recreating the show, and we are moving in 2021. We are going to Rosemont, and I hadn't been to Rosemont in quite a long time. And it's
I love that place.
All the feedback.
All
the feedback is everyone's like, why didn't you go back years ago? It's right off of the expressway. It's near the airport. They've got good restaurants. They've got
great shopping
outlet mall. They have a theater, good hotels,
beautiful
shuttle service, parking less expensive, and we have different opportunities in Rosemont than we have being downtown, in part due to the cost, but also because of the facilities that are there. So moving to Rosemont is going to be a huge one.
I am very so excited about it. So excited. Me too. Shoppings are great over there. And yes, guys, we will have plenty of money to do shopping. Don't worry about it. I know it's a worry. Why are you worried? We're planning this. We're going to go strong.
At the Prada outlet. The Gucci outlet, the Prada outlet.
I'm there with you.
But it's really great. And I don't know if I'm supposed to say it, but I'll put it out there anyway. But they've got a great theater, and we're looking at doing bringing in big name entertainment to the theater there, and possibly doing it as a benefit for our industry. We're looking at right now. We're looking at changing up the show floor so it doesn't look exactly as it did before, and having areas that you haven't even seen before with different ideas. You know, typically you walk up and down the aisles, it's the same things, but we're looking at creating new, I call them pavilions, although they're not, but new areas that address different things that really haven't been addressed yet at any of our shows.
It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be fantastic with all of you who are on the top board there making creative decisions. I just listened to it and I'm like, I can't wait to be there. So now you have a whole year to plan an amazing thing. It's so much better. So much better.
Believe
we
me,
needed
we
this.
felt terrible about having to shut down the show. That was a hard one, but and you know, it puts financial stress on everybody. You know, it puts financial stress on our association, on everybody.
Thank you, Carmen. Carmen just said, can't wait. Thanks, Carmen.
Yay.
We can't wait to.
I know. Rosemont.
The Rosemont is going to be beautiful.
Rosemont really wants us there. They're going to take good care of us. They want us in Rosemont. They want the hairdressers. They want the cosmetologists, the estheticians, the nail techs. They want us there. They really wanted our show.
How can they not? We're going to bring such an element of fun. I've heard from you a little bits and secrets and pieces. I just can't wait. It's going to be so inspiring in so many levels.
A year tomorrow, April 17th. A year today. It's a year from today.
19th through the 21st. Yes. Yep. So we're going to have to view this
365 days we have to pull it together. So it's exciting. It's really exciting.
Now, just so we can finish up right now, Karen, because 3 minutes to the hour, I can't believe we've been here a full hour. I'm okay with this. Guys, if there's anything you guys need support on, anything, either go to my website, ronitenos.com, either comment right here. We're going to bring it to you. We have so much to bring to you. We have financial planners. We have branding experts. We have social media experts. We have Karen who's going to come and talk to us more about hair loss and more about things. Next week, we have a phenomenal guest. Candy Shaw is going to be here as well. She's a great friend of Karen. I can't wait.
Love Candy.
Yeah, and she's doing amazing things right now. She's giving so much amazing free education. Go to her site right now. She's got a mini series. It's really great. But here's the thing. This is what I want to ask you. The beauty of all of it, of what's going on here, and the mission of this show is to bring us all together. It doesn't matter where you're a hairstylist, a student, a manufacturer, a distributor, a leader, a thought leader, are you a coach, any coach, all of us together to give as much as information and support all of you, not only through COVID-19. This is just an opportunity for us to do this, but to create a company, a strong company that serves your life mission. And with that in mind, Karen, if you could gift a book to your best friend, what would be your book?
That is a good one because I have a lot of books. You and I talked the other day. Maybe it's not a book that I would give to my best friend, but to someone in business. You know, I love that book. A Complaint is a Gift. And you know, we're not seeing anyone to complain right now, but that book, it will take away all anxiety. If anyone ever complains, you realize how to respond to it. That the fact that someone would even come to you and complain is a gift.
Guys, that's one of my
all-time favorite books.
This is $1 million tip. I built a successful salon based on that book. Now, I'm not talking about financial success. I'm talking about client retention success on that book. So Karen, that's such a good book.
People don't take the time to complain to you. They're going to go complain to somebody else. Please come complain to me. It is a gift. It means that you really want to stay. You just want me to change something that wasn't right, something happened. And one of my favorite books. You asked me the other. I love photography books. I love to look at photography books and lose my mind in pictures. And I have a couple of favorite photographers. So
I love it, and I love photography. So beautiful. Karen, you are so beautiful, and I love you. I just want to hug you right here. You're so beautiful.
COVID bump.
Oh, yes, social.
COVID hug.
So
So can I
hang
give a
out,
plug if
hang
anyone
out,
wants
Karen.
to hang out with me? Karen Gordon on Instagram. I'm Karen Gordon Hair Loss. Facebook, I'm Karen Gordon, and I'd love to hang out with more of you guys. So, and
Absolutely.
the one thing that's coming of all of this, the most beautiful thing is you and I on our first conversation, we're talking about being a fragmented community, and this is bringing us together more as a community. We're not perfect yet as a community. We've got a long way to go, but this is bringing everybody closer and tighter. And whether it helps us with education, legislation, support, it doesn't matter what it is. That's the silver lining in this. That
Yes.
is, trust me.
And I'm with you on that. And it's so beautiful to see it shaping up. So, hey guys, I'll see you next Wednesday. And next Friday, we're going to be live again, Facebook. We're also going to be doing this on Instagram Live. So,
Love
all
it.
of you, thank you so, so, so much for coming here. Thank you for supporting us and helping the world come together again with us in this most beautiful, beloved industry. And I can't thank you enough, Karen. I love you.
Thanks,
And
Ronnie. Love you too.
hang tight.
Stay strong.
Hang tight while we're coming off air. Let's talk about refrigerators and see you guys all soon. Bye.